Asuu reaches agreement with the federal government on vital issues. May call off strike tomorrow. Hello again everyone, welcome back to our channel. We'd like you to please like this post and share with your friends, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Thank you for following us, and may God continue to bless you wherever you are. So let's get back to this story and Asuu and the federal government. So there is a very strong indication that the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, may call off a strike on Wednesday and direct the varsity lecturers to resume work after months of industrial action has paralyzed university academic activities. However, the issue of withheld salaries of ASU members during the period of the strike, especially the mode of payments to be adopted in paying the withheld teachers' salaries, may still constitute a bottleneck to the final resolutions of the crisis. Already, the federal government and ASU had reached an agreement on vital issues, leading to the assurance that the union would not overstretch its luck by calling off the strike after reporting government's efforts to its National Executive Council. The National Executive Council of ASU is expected to take a decision on the issue, which the ASU leadership would report to the meeting between the federal government and the union tomorrow. The last meeting held between the federal government and ASU at the Minister of Labour and Employment deliberated exhaustively on the issues in contention and reached conclusions. On the issue of funding for revitalization of public universities, the agreement read, and I quote, "Government, in spite of the economic downturn as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, brought an offer of 20 billion naira payable by the end of January 2021, and ASU agreed to take the offer to its members for consideration and revert by Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. The Minister of Education will follow up the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning on its earlier memo to Mr. President on sources of alternative funding for revitalization to facilitate the process of additional funding to the university system. This is with a view to reactivating the Memorandum of Understanding of 2013 as agreed in the Memorandum of Action of 2019. Also, on the controversial issue of earned academic allowances, EAA, the agreement read, and I quote, "Responding to the demand by ASU for the payment of the two tranches which accumulated to 40 billion naira that has become overdue since November 2019, the Accountant General of the Federation committed to release 30 billion naira on or before November 6, 2020. The remaining 10 billion naira would be spread equally over the two tranches to be paid in May 2021 and February 2022, respectively. The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation should quickly conclude the verification of figures of earned academic allowances claims so as to clean up the figures from 2014 to 2020. To this end, a committee would be constituted by the National University Commission (NUC) to develop a template that would capture all the agreed allowances in the 2009 agreement for all the unions in the universities. Therefore, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and the NUC are quickly to conclude the verification of the end academic allowances figures so as to defray the payment from 2014 to 2020. ASU is to work with the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and NUC to achieve that by the end of December 2020. The process of mainstreaming the end academic allowances into the annual budget using the agreed formula shall be activated. NUC and the Ministry of Education are to coordinate the activation process immediately and to be concluded by November 6, 2020. The National Assembly (NAS) has agreed to implement this process by mainstreaming and providing the amount involved provided the amount is involved is sent in as quickly as possible to the Ministry of Education. To solve the issue of state universities, the meeting agreed that the NUC Act will be amended in order to strengthen its regulatory capacity, while Asuu will work with the NUC on this and then involve the relevant committee of the National Assembly. Also, the agreement said the issue of payment of earned academic allowances to loyal Asuu members at the University of Ilorin has been resolved. Other issues resolved are the Nigerian University Pension Management Company Limited on Asuu, which satisfied and accepted the progress made so far. The visitation panels to federal universities, which has been approved by President Buhari, but not gazetted, and the reconstitution of the government renegotiating team. The Ministry of Education is to ensure gazetting within 2 weeks, that is October 29, 2020. The meeting agreed that the panel will be inaugurated latest by the end of November 2020. And the panel will have 4 to 6 weeks to mandate and finish its work by December 31st, 2020, and submit 2 reports per university covering 5 years period of between 2011 and 2015 and 2016 and 2020. The agreement said on the issue of Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System, IPPIS, the meeting was informed that Asuu has met its timeline regarding the first stage of initial demonstration of the efficacy of the University Transparency and Accountability Solution UTS to the government, as this was done on Wednesday, October 14th, 2020. The meeting also agreed that if the UTAS passes all the stages of the integrity test, which would involve the National Information Technology Development Agency and the Office of the National Security Advisors, NSA, and after ascertaining its efficacy, it will be adopted for the payment of university staff. The agreement added, and I quote, "Meanwhile, the meeting could not agree on how payment will be done for Asuu members during the transitional period of UTAS test, as the government side again appealed to Asuu to enroll on IPPIS platform in view of the presidential directive that all federal government of Nigeria employees should be paid through IPPIS. They can thereafter be migrated to UTAS whenever certified digitally efficient and effective with accompanying security coverage." Asuu maintained that given Asuu's invention in UTAS, it should be exempted from IPPIS in the transitional period. The issue of withheld salaries of Asuu members was discussed. The meeting agreed that the government will pay this money as soon as the mode of payment is agreed upon by both parties. So there you have it. The federal government and Asuu have gone through a detailed meeting and series of negotiations on all their issues: funding for universities, if Asuu should continue on the IPPIS platform, or if the federal government will agree to using the UTAS that Asuu is proposing. So I'm sure this meeting will go a long way to, settle their differences and get students back to the classes very soon. But all of this is part of the measures the federal government is probably taking to, mitigate the NSAS protests and make sure that it doesn't go on forever, to get the youths off the streets and get them back into classes. I'm sure that is something the government is using all its resources and all these options to work on. So thank you for listening. Let us know what you think about this story in the comment section. And God bless you. Thank you for following us also. Have a good day.